And we need to bring back those principles. And today, we have the Tea Party. I don't need to tell you what you stand for. You know what you stand for. You advocate freedom and liberty, right? You support free markets, smaller government, lower taxes, reduction of the national debt. Y'all support that?
Yeah.
Think it's too big?
Yeah.
Think our grandchildren are going to be able to pay off this debt the rate we're going? No. Deficit spending, is that a problem?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to talk about the property tax, which is what I'm involved in. I'm supposed to tell you about your rights, but first let's talk about tax policy, because there's a lot of discussion going on at the Capitol right now, and a lot of discussion locally about what a good tax is. And there's a lot of different options out there, but the Tax Foundation tells us in order for tax policy to be sound for the people, it's got to be transparent. Is the property tax transparent?
No.
No. You have to worry about getting that appraisal notice. You have to worry then watching your governments adopt their tax rates. And then you know when it becomes transparent is when you get that bill in October, right? Now, most of our young families out there with mortgages, they don't see that tax bill. What they get is a notification in March that the mortgage payment is just doubled. It's not transparent at all. Is it neutral? No, it keeps going up. Is it stable? No, it keeps going up. It's not supposed to be retroactive to be a sound tax policy, but we can go back 5 years. 5 years and change numbers and take more money from you. So that's not good. It has to be broad-based, and the Texas tax system's pretty broad-based. It affects everybody, but it has to have low rates. We don't have that. As a matter of fact, every single government has a different exemption and a different rate. It can't be complex. If the property tax system in Texas was simple, I would not have taught over 100 classes to explain to people what they're doing so they could defeat the appraisal districts. It's way too far complex. It has to be fair. Is it fair? Is it fair that my property value went up $100,000 for no darn good reason because of what somebody else did in my neighborhood, not because of what I did? Is it fair that your property value went up $25,000 if it went up $5,000? When they increased my value $10,000 last year and I protested, that little $10,000 would have cost me $300 more. That's not good. It has to be progressive. Putting the property owner in control. We're not in control. The appraisal districts are in control. It has to be easily administered to be economical. Well, let me tell you folks, appraisal district, local government, $400 million a year. $400 million. Now, when I tried to calculate tax collections cost, it was about $500 million for all the different governments that are out there collecting taxes. And then the comptroller has to make sure the appraisal district is doing what they're supposed to do, and that's another $10 to $20 million. So it's not economical. There's only one state in this country, because of Prop 13, that has a property tax that is fair, and that is California. California, when Prop 13 passed, they rolled the values back a few years, which we would have to do in Texas in order to accomplish that here. Roll back to the values a few years before, and then said, whatever price you pay for a property is what you're going to be taxed on. That is what a progressive tax is. It puts you in charge. So if you can't afford the taxes on $100,000, you buy one of lesser value. When we built our house, we bought our land, we paid it off. We then decided to build our own house. We'd saved enough pennies. We did that, and it cost us $50 a square foot. When the appraiser put that house on the tax rolls, they put it on the tax rolls for over $200,000. $100,000. A piece of property is not worth ever more than what it cost to be built. But based on the market in Texas right now, our property values are out of sight. With 1,000 people a day, moving to Texas, they are driving our property taxes up. Now, why did we have Prop 13 in California? Because in California, they have initiative and referendum. And when I talked to my state reps and senators about initiative and referendum for Texas, you know what they said? We're a representative form of government, and we're taking care of you. I'd like to ask if any of you have a representative and a senator who's taking care of you, or are they taking care of themselves? Themselves. I look at my own state senator who's on the insurance committee. Really? He's an insurance man. How can that be right?
Yeah.
How can that be right? Prop 13 passed the test of constitutionality by the United States Supreme Court. And it was very interesting. I have to tell you what one of the justices said. One of the things that they said, and the Supreme Court as a whole said, that the property owner should be protected from higher taxes. There should be stability in a property tax. And Justice Richardson stated, and I'm going to quote this, that the annual property taxes that a property owner pays should bear some rational relationship to the original cost of the property, rather than relate to the unforeseen, perhaps unduly inflated current value. What we are paying taxes on is the unduly inflated value. So Prop 13 created tax certainty. Will we get it here? Not without initiative and referendum. And I was so excited when I saw the Republican Party platform. I don't know about y'all. I am a Republican. I relate more to the Republican Party than the Democratic Party. I have to say I've probably become more of a libertarian than anything else these days. But the Republican Party platform adopted last summer had an item under tax burden that said, we support the abolishment of property taxes, but in the interim, property taxes should be paid on the price of the property when it was initially purchased. So I had that bill drafted. I've got the bill draft.
Okay.
And I took it to Austin. I took it to 96 Republican office holders. I said, this is in your platform. You know what they said? We don't care about the platform. They said, well, what do you care about? Yourselves? Your self-interest? Power. But they weren't promoting the Republican Party platform. They didn't want anything to do with that. So we didn't get the bill filed. They're paying attention to lobbyists. They're paying attention to special interests. Well, folks, I have a special interest too. And it is lowering your property taxes, and it is property tax reform. And I'm not going to give up that battle. I think that you need to continue that battle. And I'm going to ask you for your help in just a minute, okay, in Austin, because I'm fighting a battle. If you have not already friended me on Facebook, you need to. Cheryl E. Johnson is my home Facebook. Cheryl Johnson in Galveston County Tax Office is my work Facebook page. But friend me, I'm posting the same thing on both sites. And what I'm talking about is what's going on in Austin and what we need y'all to do. But let me tell you, because this is what I'm supposed to be talking about, what are your property rights in Texas? Well, I went online and I downloaded the Property Taxpayer Bill of Rights that our comptroller, Glenn Hagar, put out there. And it says, number one, that property, you have the right to equal and uniform taxation. You have the right to ensure your property is appraised uniformly with similar property in your county. Now, what that means is they're supposed to use the same process to value everybody, and they're supposed to use the same type of standard. Right now, there's a bill in the legislature that if it passes, then we are going to lose the ability as homeowners to fight unequal value. And the best unequal value case that you can take the appraisal district is to find a house just like yours that's valued lower. And that is absolutely unequal. But they're going to make you rise to the standard of an appraiser. Now, I am a fee appraiser by profession. And I know, and I teach in my class, how you adjust those sales in order to meet the standard that they're going to adopt for you. What they're going to do is throw you out. And the fiscal notes on that bill said that taxpayers in Texas will no longer be able to win on equal value if this bill passes. And they passed it anyway. You have the right to have your property appraised according to generally accepted appraisal techniques and other requirements of law. That means they have to follow the tax code and USPAP, which is Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practices. And I keep that in my office. I make it available. The appraisal district hates it that I give it to people, but you need to know what's happening. You have the right to receive exemptions or other tax relief for which you qualify and timely apply. You have the right to notice a property value increases, exemption changes, and estimated tax amounts. Now, these are your property tax bill of rights. They don't sound very property tax friendly. They basically sound like a list of the things that they want you to have. You have the right to inspect non-confidential information used to appraise your property. Now, I messed up one year. We went up there to try and get the appraisal districts to not be able to get your sales. When an appraisal, this is Texas, and I don't know if y'all know, it's a non-disclosure state. You should know. If anybody knows, the Tea Party knows. So what you pay for something in Texas is nobody's business. So when you have a neighbor, somebody that moves into your neighborhood, and they're from another state, you go knock on their door, you tell them to throw away that letter from the appraisal district and the one from the comptroller, because if the appraisal district can't get the sales, they can't increase your value. But people give it up. They give it up in droves, and that's causing your value to go up. But you can't get those sales yourself to find out what they're doing to you unless you file a formal protest, okay? In order to get the drawings and the data in their file, you have to go and get it. You're going to pay for it. You can go and see it, but you won't get the sales. So you have the right to protest your property's value and other appraisal matters. Now, this is going to be important in just a minute. To an appraisal review board composed of an impartial group of citizens. If you want to know how impartial they are, go to the comptroller's website and download their manual, the instructions on how to be an ARB member. You've got to know what they're teaching them in order to beat them. Okay? You need to know what training. So are they impartial? No. They're paid, number one, by the appraisal districts. They're paid by the appraisal districts. Who do they work for then? I don't know about you, but I work for who pays my salary. You pay my salary. I work for you. They work for the appraisal district, although they're not supposed to. How many of you got an appraisal notice this year? You have until June 1st to protest. And if you don't, shame on you. Okay, you have nothing to lose to go into that informal conference. They will not raise your value in the informal conference unless you tell them you have a pool and they don't know about it. Okay? They do not have, the appraisal district does not have the right to come into your property. I'm talking to people every day and they say, well, I don't have anything wrong with my property. They don't have anything to protest. So if you sold your house tomorrow, big hint, if you had to put your house on the market tomorrow, what would you have to do to it to sell it, to be competitive in your marketplace? I'd have to put in granite countertops because I don't have them. I'd have to paint inside and out. There's a lot of things that I would have to do to bring my house up to the standard of what is in the marketplace now. Those are the things, the costs that you get together in order to protest your value. But call by June 1st to schedule that appointment. All the appraisal districts are now required to do the online protest. It's so easy to say no to a cold piece of paper, but I'm going to try and do it this week just so I can test it. I'd encourage you to go in person. Now, I said pay attention to the other appraisal matters. I live in Friendswood, Texas, and what's happening in Friendswood is we have a limited supply of houses because of the 1,000 people a day moving to Texas. So what's happening is a price war. So I have no doubt that my property value went up $110,000 because of the price war going on in Friendswood. But that doesn't represent market value. A highly motivated buyer, you got to throw those sales out. So I'm going to be going in and fighting their theories. When they increased everybody in Friendswood about 25%, they were assuming that those values that people were paying are correct, and they're not. So if I end up in court, I end up in court, but somebody has to fight the battle. Okay, you also have the right to appeal the appraisal review board's decision to the district court. Now, how many of you are lawyers? Okay, I don't see any hands going up. How many of you are related to lawyers? Okay. Don't file a lawsuit in district court unless you have a family member who's a lawyer, because it's going to cost you. Because the government is paying for their lawyers, and it's too hard for you. Now, you can go to binding arbitration. It'll cost you $500. And if you win, then you'll get back all but $50. So that's not awful, but I'm scared to death of that too. So my taxes are going up $600 this year at a minimum. If I go to binding arbitration, I stand to lose another $500. Okay, so it's scary. So they kind of got us. They had an expedited arbitration for $250, which is more reasonable. They took that away from us. Your representatives and senators took that away from us. Now, you have the right to fair treatment by the appraisal district, the appraisal review board, and me, or your tax assessor collector. Now, I can't speak for your county appraisal district. I'm familiar with your appraisal district, but I've never done anything down there. Mine's pretty fair, except we have a new chief appraiser, and we have a new deputy chief appraiser, and we're not sure that what used to work is going to work anymore. So we'll find out. And then what happened in my county, what drove our values up so much, 15% across the whole county, is that they failed the property value study. That's the test that the comptroller does to make sure appraisal districts are doing what they're supposed to do, okay? When they fail 2 years in a row, the school districts lose funding. The school districts are the push. The school district funding that the legislature doesn't want to pay is what is driving up your property values. The more your property taxes are up, the less the legislature has to belly up to the table. Is this system stacked against us? Yes, it is. And with 45% of the revenue coming into the state of Texas being property taxes, they're not going to change anything.
Oh, but think of the children.
What the children? I was on the school board, and every time they pulled out the children, it just drove me crazy. Because you know what? Money doesn't make children successful. Parents make children successful. Parent involvement.
There you go.
That is crazy talk, isn't it? I was an at-home mom. We did it without a whole lot in order for us to be at home. I still drive a 1999 car. I have two 1999 vehicles because we don't go out and buy new things because it was more important for us, for me to be there with my family and for me to fight for the citizens than it was for us to have a lot of really nice things, I guess. Now, with regard to the Appraisal Review Board, remember, those are citizens in your community, and you can apply for that position through your state administrative district judge. Ours in Galveston County is Lonnie Cox. I don't know who the Brazoria County judge is that is making, the state district judge is making that decision, but you can find that out by a simple phone call. Why don't you sign up for the appraisal review? You get paid board. You get paid $150 roughly for every single one of those days that you spend in those panel hearings. And I talked to a man in Fort Bend. He friended me on Facebook the other day. And before I accepted it, I got in touch with him and I said, well, if you're spying, I'm not going to friend you. But if you're going to be there to do the job that you were appointed to do, which is to represent the citizens, then I'll share my information with you. And he promised that he would be there to represent you. Somebody needs to. Okay, and with regard to your tax assessor collector, I know you're a tax assessor collector. I'm going to tell you that I know that across the state of Texas, Cheryl Johnson is that crazy woman from Galveston County, and let me tell you why. At a conference that we held in Galveston in 2007, I walked up, I was hosting an event, and I walked up to a whole group of county tax assessor collectors. And we had Brazoria, and we had Bexar County, and we had Matagorda County, we had Chambers, a whole bunch of them, and I walked up, and what they were complaining to each other about is their values weren't high enough and their taxpayers weren't paying enough money. And I looked at them and I said, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? These are the people that put you in office. These are the people that voted for you. These are your friends. These are your neighbors. And you don't think they pay enough in taxes? So, I'm the crazy lady from Galveston County. When I go to Austin, I have people come up to me and say, you're that crazy lady from Galveston County. That's me and I own it and I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week. One more right that you have is the right to voice your opinions at open public meetings and to protest about proposed tax rates and to ask questions. I know that when you go to League City, that Heidi is going to answer your questions and she's going to be accountable. You've got to show up at tax rate hearings, folks. You've got to show up. When they're adopting those tax rates and they're raising their revenue, you've got to tell them that you don't appreciate it. And if they exceed the rollback rate, and there's a law out there right now that's being looked at that might make it a little bit harder for them, then you've got to petition right now to get them to roll back those taxes. But you've got to show up at the public hearings. I want you to remember that whenever you see an ad published by government in the newspaper, the smaller the print, the more it's going to cost you. When you can't read it, it means that you're getting ready to get whacked, okay? So protest those things. Oh, sorry, there were two more rights you have. You can petition to call for an election. Actually, I already addressed that. And you have the right to receive a free copy of a pamphlet about your property taxpayer rights. Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, so what? We have a crisis underway in Austin right now, and I need your help. This coming Tuesday, Cecil Bell has a bill, House Bill 2041, that is being proposed to lower the appraisal cap to 5% and to extend it to all real property. What that would mean is if Stanton's value went up, they would be protected. If these homes behind us went up, they would be protected. Now, is 5% too much? Yes. But we're at 10 now, folks. Can you afford 10 any longer? I can't. Now, my only concern with this bill is I fear that they're going to vote it out of committee, they're going to get it onto the floor, and they're going to run out of time for the Senate to pick it up, and then guess what's going to happen? The House is going to be able to say, well, we tried. That darn Senate was against you. So let me tell you a little bit more. So I need you in Austin on Tuesday at House Ways and Means. If you friend me on Facebook, you'll get the information. We are not going to be heard before the House breaks off the floor, so it's going to be sometime after 1, probably closer to 3. I'm not going to let this bill be heard without somebody representing you. I will be there. I will be there, but I promise you it's going to be like it was in 2011 when me, one of my employees, and Peggy Venable with Americans for Prosperity were the only people that supported a reduction of appraisal caps, and there was a 24-page witness list of government bureaucrats who opposed it. Who do you think they listened to? The bureaucrats. So we're going to be outnumbered. We really need your help. And if you can't be there, call your state rep, call your representative, call your senator, tell them you want them to do something. Call every single member of House Ways and Means and Senate Finance. Call the lieutenant governor. I've been faxing the lieutenant governor and the speaker nonstop for the last couple of weeks. I've just been hammering them that they've got to do something. And this is why. Because the House says we need a business tax reduction. We do. We absolutely do that. And so what they did to make you happy is they're going to cut the sales tax rate. 0.003 cents. You know what that means? You're going to save a penny on every $3 gallon of gas you buy. Big whoop. They're touting it as you're going to save $150. The average Texas family, and this was on a document that Dennis Bonin published last week, and 90 House members signed on to, that the average family will save between $150 to $170 a year with this reduction in the sales tax. I did that math, and I did it for them, and I sent it to them. And I said, just in case you gentlemen don't know, and ladies, don't know how it works, you take the savings, you divide it by 0.003, and that's how much you'd have to spend. If we're all buying Mercedes this year, we'll save money. $50,000 in taxable items that you would have to buy to save $170. Is anybody here buying a Mercedes? Now, I have to say, I see some motorcycle guys. If you buy one of those really fine motorcycles, you might save some money. So once this goes into effect, hold off your purchases for the rest of the year. If this is going to go through, then buy your nice motorcycle, okay? I think they're taxing guns, so wait for those purchases until after this tax goes into effect so you can save a little bit of money. But $50,000 is what you'd have to spend to save the $170. Now, that's on the House side, and they're saying we're doing something meaningful. So now let's look at the Senate side. Dan Patrick's a friend of mine. I've been there with him and Clout. Remember Clout from 10 years ago? Long before he was in public office, okay? So what they're planning on doing is increasing the homestead exemption for school districts to about $30,000, which means the average homeowner in Texas will save $225. That's not bad, but it's not great. It's better than nothing, and he is tying it to the rate of inflation. So we have on the House side a 0.003 cent tax savings on your purchases, and we have on the Senate side an increase in the homestead exemption, which will be meaningful. $225 I can take to the bank. I intend to open up a bank account at Dennis Bonin's bank in Pearland with my penny. And I think you should too. I challenge you to do that. Every time I go to Walmart, I'm going to take those little pennies over to his bank and I'm going to deposit them. How much do you want to bet they're not going to let me open up a bank account with a penny? You know they're not. Okay, so I did the math, I sent it to them, and the chiefs of staff started calling me. You know what they said? Well, we didn't do the math. What do you mean you didn't do the math? Well, we trusted them. Really? Really. So, whatever you want, sales tax relief or property tax relief, we aren't going to get it until we can get these two chambers to come together on something meaningful. I've already faxed the governor and asked for a special session for property tax relief. I have a businessman that I met with today. I know I'm going way over. Sorry, folks. We had a businessman that I met with last week who's really upset. He has 9 properties. He's a rancher. He has 9 properties in my county. He was getting ready to build a new industrial building and open up a business to employ 15 people. He's not going to do it now because every single one of his property values doubled. They doubled. How do you pay the more taxes on that? And he's not willing to take the risk. One of my friends actually sold all of his real estate and bought an RV, because guess what? I can't charge him property taxes on that. And he laughs when he drives past my office every single day. And I don't blame him. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it. So, in summary, Proverbs 29:4 tells us that by justice a king builds up the land, but he who exacts gifts tears it down. Many, not all, but most of the people that we elect to the Texas legislature, to Washington, D.C., and even your local governments forget where they came from. They forget the promises they made to you. They fall for the romancing by the lobbyists. Okay, they're lining their pockets. They're more enamored with standing up in a parade and doing the royal wave or getting clapped when they appear at a chamber luncheon. The accolades are more important to them than remembering where they came from. They become well connected, and then they're immunized from the consequences of their actions against you. They have well-funded campaigns, and it makes it darn near impossible for you to defeat them in campaigns, doesn't it? It's hard. It's hard. Really hard. I beat an incumbent based on hard work. It wasn't easy. It can be done, but it's not easy, especially in these big races. But these people who are funding their campaigns are not friends of free market. They're not friends of small government, and they're not friends of low taxes. They are the people who are living off the tit of government. They are the people who are getting the contracts, and that needs to stop. We have to shatter the deals. We went to Heritage Foundation last week, and I was reading my book, and I just love this. We have to shatter the deals, and we have to clear the smoke-filled rooms. We have to remind every single person who represents you, whether it's at the courthouse, whether it's in City Hall, whether it's in Washington, or whether it's the state capitol, that they need to represent Main Street, not Wall Street. They need to represent you. They must think about you, and your needs must prevail in every single decision they make, in every public hearing, in every bill they pass, in every single meeting they have. A statesman is someone who cares about the next generation. A politician is someone who cares about re-election. We have too many politicians and not enough statesmen. Do you agree? Harold Jarvis said we need a fence between the hog and the swirl bucket. Let's build that fence. The federal government has enough to take everything that we have. The state government is allowing governments through property tax to do the same. And we need to remind them that a government dedicated to the individual liberties is one that understands that private property is to be protected, not taken, and not taxed. Do you agree with me? We're a nation founded on a tax revolt. I'm proud to be an American carrying on that legacy and the legacy of my forefathers. I'm proud of each and every one of you for what you do and for doing the same. We are David, and we must slay the Goliath government. Keep up the fight. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Texas. I got you down.
He's here to help you. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Cheryl Johnson. For those of you who would like specific information on how to protect your money from the tax grabbers, you can tune in to Raging Elephants Radio on Monday. Cheryl Johnson last year taught an entire tax appraisal class, how to reduce your home appraisal, and it's going to be re-airing on Monday, complete with the documentation that you need. So you can tune in at 12 o'clock at RagingElephantsRadio.com to hear more specifics. It's basically a class in 2 hours. Also, Raging Elephants Radio is streaming live video right now, so the Texans that we're speaking to today are not just right here in Alvin in the parking lot, but it's streaming out across Texas. Pedro right here is, you can find this video if you want to go back and rewatch it or perhaps send it to someone. You can go to RERvideo, just one word, RERvideo on YouTube. And lastly, I would appreciate it very much. You know that Raging Elephants Radio is the voice of the grassroots. T-Rex is right over here, as is Mary Hulls. Whoop! And I would really appreciate it if you would go and put your email on the RER mail-out list if you're not already on it. How many of you listen to RER occasionally? Whoop! Here we go. Some of you, not all of you. That's got to change. Because that's where you learn. Our own chat cats coined a phrase for us that if you're not listening, you're not learning. The stuff that you just heard from tax revolutionary over there, Cheryl Johnson, you're going to hear on Raging Elephants Radio on a regular basis. Now, I've got to get to some administrative stuff, but before I do, we've got a few gifts, and I'm just going to toss them because I don't know. You guys are so far away, and I'm just going to throw them out. And see, and I've got more. You guys, this event is possible because of the commitment of the Patriots at AlvinTeaPartyPatriots.com. I'd like to thank them for hosting this. There's a lot of work. No matter how many people show up, whether it's a handful, a couple handfuls, or hundreds, it's the same amount of work. So your presence here matters a great deal. But also, there are some sponsors that have made this happen, and I'd like to acknowledge them. You'll see them right here behind me. Aim Controls, Suzanne Dillman of Intero Real Estate, and also Stanton's. We're in their parking lot right now. They've helped to make today possible. So if you have a chance, if you're anywhere in this area and you can frequent those businesses, that's your way of saying thank you for their support of your patriotic activities. So those sponsors are important. No event can be put on without someone helping to carry the load, and these sponsors do that. Also, let's see it, some more administrative things. If you can go to the back there are some opportunities for you to win some items, as well as we're going to have a live auction coming up next. We're going to go through a couple of items, and some of them are pretty big. So you'll want to make sure that you avail yourself of the opportunity for some opportunity tickets. And you'll see a lady walking around here. There she is. Sue Stringer right here has got a cute, what is that? Lottery ticket and gift cards right here. You have an opportunity to buy those tickets as well. So I have completed my admin announcements. Thank you for that. It's my commercial, my version of a commercial patent. This is Pat Ritter. He's going to come up and auction the first item. Oh, a couple items.
All right, folks, we're going to do a couple of auctions here, and then we're going to do some raffles, too. So the first thing we are actually going to auction off is a stained glass Texas flag, and I believe Miss LaDawn's going to be bringing this up here so we can see it. Now, while she's bringing that up here, remember, folks, we are at a Day of Resistance, but we're also at a fundraiser for the Alvin Tea Party. This is how we operate. This is how we are able to put these things on, through donations. So, with that in mind, we're going to start auctioning this off. This is, what I said earlier, donated by Derek and LaDawn Shoebridge, a stained glass Texas flag. So, who will give me $20 to start this off? Who will give me 20? I got 20 with Sue. Anybody want to go 30? Who wants to go 30? I got 30 with the man walking up front. Anybody want to go 40? Who's got 40? Anybody got 30? Got 30. I got 40 there with Sue. I have 40. Anybody want to go 50? Anybody want to go 50? I got 50. I've got 40. We got 50 there. Now, Sue, you want to go 60? Sue wants to go 60. Would you like to go 70? You want to go 70? You want to go 70? How about 65? It's only $5 more. You know, okay. All right, well, I got Sue at 60. Anybody want to go 65? I got anybody. Cindy's got 65. Anybody want to go 70 here now? Anybody want to go 75? 75. I got 70 here with Sue. 75 there. Now, anybody want to go 80? I got 75 there. Now, anybody want to go 80? Anybody want to go 80? I got 75 there. Anybody want to go 80? Hey, Cindy's got 80 now. Anybody want to go 85? I got 80 here. You want to go 85? I got 85 here now. Anybody want to go 90? Anybody want to go 90? I have 85 here now. Anybody want to go 90? Anybody want to go 90? I have 85 here now. 90? 90 there now. Anybody want to go 90? 95 here now. Would you like to go 100? Come on now. 100 there now. Anybody? 105. 105 there now. Anybody want to go 110? 110. I got 110. 110 there now. Anybody want to go 115? 140 with Miss Sue now. Anybody want to go 145? Anybody want to go 145? I got 140 with Miss Sue. Anybody want to go 145? I got 140 with Miss Sue. 145 there. Anybody want to go 150? Want to go 50? 150 with Miss Sue. Anybody want to go 155? I have 150 with Miss Sue. Take a look at it. It's a really nice stained glass. I have 150 with Miss Sue. Anybody want to go 155? Anybody want to go 155? I have 150 with Miss Sue. 155. Anybody want to go 160? It's only $10 more than what you were bidding before. Come on now. We got 155 here. Anybody want to go 160? All right, we have 155 going once. We have 155 going twice. And
160.
We're sold at 155. Thank you very much for buying that. We appreciate it. Now, Connor, you want to come up here and help me with that? Mr. Henry, can we get the teapot with the... Can we get the teapot? All right, Connor's going to come up here and he's going to help me do one of the raffle items.
Yourself again.
All right, the first thing we are going to raffle off is 100 rounds of 9mm Winchester ammo. We got it back there so you can take it home with you today. All right, Mr. Connor. Has everybody bought their raffle tickets? Want some? Everybody got their raffle tickets? All right, here we go. This is the first raffle item. There we go. They didn't rip them up, did they? Take that first one. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Here. You want to read the number or you want me to read it? Okay. All right. And the winner is Gary Shrum, and I don't think I saw him here today. Okay, so we will put that with the 9mm. Now, hold on. We're going to keep... All right, thanks, Tyler. We're going to do 1 minute, but we're going to auction one more thing off real fast, okay? All right, folks, the next thing we've got is a Yeti 30-ounce Rambler. Now, I don't know if any of you all have one of these, but my older brother has one, and it is the best cup that we have ever seen. So we're going to start the auction off at $20. He'll give me $20 for this cup. Who's going to give me 20? 20 there. Now, anybody want to go 30 for it? Anybody want to go 30 for the cup? Come on, folks. Y'all know what these are worth. Have you seen them in the stores? They are fantastic. I've got 20. Now, anybody want to go 30? Anybody with 30 there? Now, anybody want to go 40? Who wants to go 40? I got 40 there. Now, anybody want to go 50? Anybody want to go 50? Anybody want to go 50? Anybody want to go 45? How about 45? Anybody? All right, I got 40 going once. I got 40 going twice. Sold $40. We'll get that back to Miss Sue. All right, now, you ready to do the next one, Connor? Okay, we got one more. We got the teapot. Miss Suzanne, can you bring that teapot up here? All right, buddy. The next one. Which one? We're going to do that the second time. All right. So, we're raffling off right now an 1851 Colt Navy Sheriff 44 caliber black powder replica, which was donated by the Alvin Tea Party and donated by Paul Johnson. So thank you, Paul. I don't know where you're at, but thank you for it. All right. Did you get it? You ready? All right. The winner of the black powder replica is Miles Dollinger. Is Miles here? Miles here? He won the black powder pistol. Okay. So we are going to keep that, and we will get that to Mr. Miles. All right. Hold on, let me go. All right, folks, and let's. Okay, last auction item for this segment. We got a patriotic handmade quilt that I think somebody's going to bring up here, and it was donated by Kim Kingsbury. Okay. So we're going to let you see this quilt before we start auctioning it, and this is the last item for this section. I think. While we're waiting on that quilt, let's hear it for Connor here, who picked the cards for us. All right, look at this quilt that we've got coming up here, folks. Handmade quilt, red, white, and blue, and that just says patriotic, doesn't it? All right, so what do we get for that? What do we start off the auction at? What do you think, guys? $50? So give me 50 for it. Who wants to go 50 for the quilt? 50 there. Now, anybody want to go 60? 60 there. Anybody want to go 70? I got 60 there. Anybody want to go 70? I got 60 here with this gentleman in the hat. Now, anybody want to go 70? I got 60 here. Now, anybody want to go 70? 70 here. Now, anybody want to go 80? You want to go 80? How about 75? There's only $5 more. Come on, I got 70 here. Now, you want to go 75? 75. Anybody? Anybody? All right, you should go 75. Anybody want to go 80? You want to go 80? Are you really going to let them girls 80. Now, anybody want to go 85? How about 85? Who wants to go 85 for it? Remember, folks, this is our once annual fundraiser for the Alvin Tea Party, so we are trying to do what we can. That is beautiful. All right, so I've got 80 here now. Anybody want to go 85? I got 80 here. She'll go 100. Jumping her bid up. All right, now anybody want to go 110 on it? Oh, anybody want to go 110? I got 100 here now. Anybody want to go 110? How about 105, folks? Anybody want to go 105? 105. I got 100 here now. Anybody want to go 105? How about 105? All right, we got 100 going once. Come on, guys. Come on. We got 100 here now. Anybody want to go 105? We got 100 here now. Anybody want to go 105? 100 here. Anybody want to go 105? I got 101. 100 going twice. Anybody else want in? Anybody else want in? And sold for 100 to Miss Heidi. Wow. All right, thank you, folks. And there's that card. We will be back after our second speaker, and I am getting ready to turn this over to Miss Heidi again.
I didn't think about it. It was her. I tried to go over Eddie was so hard. Eddie went with me, but she wouldn't. Eddie was her first husband. She lost her husband.
Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right, Miss Heidi, it is all yours.
Okay, I got
Thank you. Good job, guys. All right, guys, the Alvin Tea Party Patriots, like I said, doesn't matter how many people show up, they still put in the same amount of sweat and tears into this kind of event. So please do, you want to support this kind of thing, because if these events go away, who's going to remind our rulers of that spirit of resistance? Come on up. I'll go ahead and make that announcement now, right before we introduce our next speaker. You guys, there's a local group here called Freedom Texas that would like to invite you to their meetings. They have meetings on the second Tuesday of every month for Fort Bend, Brazoria County. It's their monthly meeting. You guys can have some barbecue. You can enjoy meeting your fellow freedom-loving Texans, and you're going to learn how Texas independence can benefit all Texians. It will ensure liberty, sovereignty, privacy, and prosperity for all. It's at 7 o'clock. It's right here in Alvin at the P&A Barbecue, which was formerly the Duran's Barbecue, right here in Alvin. May 12th is their next meeting, and they wanted to make sure you all knew you were welcome to join them at that meeting. All right, here, can I get this back to you? I need my hands free. Okay, folks, we're on to our second speaker. He's going to be speaking. He's going to be, sorry about that. I had a temporary technical glitch here, reminding me of where I'm going next. Yep, here we go. I have to have my notes. I have some notes here and some notes here. Folks, I would like to introduce you to our second speaker. This is Pastor Terry Holcomb. He is an open carry preacher, we call him, and he has been active. Actually, it started before his recent second home has become Austin, I think, the Austin legislature. Yeah. But even before that, folks, he ran back in 2014 for the state as a state representative. He didn't make that election, but that never slowed him down. In fact, I think it may have increased his voice, because he does not have to temper or confine himself based on politics, especially the politics of a party. Now, did you know that at the last Republican convention, they passed a resolution in support of not just constitutional carry, but that Texas, they called upon our state legislators to not just be proactive, but to aggressively pursue an agenda of altering and amending the Texas state constitution to remove the restriction that Texas places on its gun owners. And that being that the legislature has the right to regulate your use of firearms for the purposes of keeping the peace and whatnot. I mean, it's basically an infringement. So it kind of makes it a no-brainer, right? For your legislature, they got their marching orders. They know what to do. It should really be a no-brainer, but it's not. And that's why Austin has become Pastor Terry's second home. He has been there week in and week out, even before the legislature started, to hammer home a message of freedom and liberty for gun owners in Texas, for firearms owners. And open carry has been the mantra that he has been carrying consistently through the House and the Senate. So without further ado, today is the day of resistance, and how more appropriate could it be to have Pastor Terry, our open carry preacher, today. Welcome.
Thank you, and I want to thank the Alvin Tea Party for putting on this event, for all the hard work that y'all do in fighting the good fight. And I want to thank Raging Elephants Radio, of course, who I am a contributor of. If you're not listening to Raging Elephants Radio, I promise you, you're not learning. You're not going to find another media outlet that will educate you like Raging Elephant Radio on what's going on in Texas. I think that's important, what your state reps and your state senators are doing. They broadcast Monday through Friday, and you can listen to the replays starting at 6 o'clock in the evening. And if you're a night owl, They start all over around midnight playing the daily show, so y'all make sure y'all are listening. I want to challenge your paradigm today. I was asked to talk about the Second Amendment, but with that I want to challenge your paradigm. First of all, who here actually believes that we're free? That we're a free people? We are not a free people. If you think that we are free, I challenge you to come walk with me today after we leave here, right down these roads. And I will show you quick, fast, and in a hurry just how free we are not. In the last 18 months, there have been 18 unlawful arrests for lawfully carrying firearms in Texas. I was one of those arrests back in September of 2013. I was arrested for carrying this black powder revolver right here that's on my hip, which is perfectly legal in the state of Texas. We're not a free state. The reason I want to challenge your paradigm is because everybody talks about the Second Amendment without taking time to understand what the U.S. Constitution means and what the Texas Constitution means. How many people blame the federal government on most of our woes that we suffer through today? Raise your hand. The federal government. It's going to fire back up, but I don't need it. Right? How many people are really angry with the federal government right now? Raise your hand. Yeah. It's going to surprise you when I say you should be more mad at your state government. Oh, yeah. The federal government's powers are enumerated. They're very few. They're very easy to identify. The rest of the powers reside in the state. There should not be one single federal law in regards to firearms. Not one. But there are. Someone said, but there are, but it's not because of the federal government, it's because the state governments are consenting to it. The power resides in the states. The states need to start nullifying unconstitutional federal overgrab of power that is not theirs. Everybody's worried about the next presidential race. Everybody's worried about putting somebody in place of John Cornyn, the Democrat. Right, that claims to be a Republican. Everybody's worried about that, and don't get me wrong, I love Ted Cruz, and there's a whole lot of people on the Ted Cruz bandwagon. Folks, listen to me. Until we get control at the state levels, it is not going to matter what we do at the federal level. We have got to start electing local conservatives, starting all the way from commissioner's court, tax assessor collector, and working your way all the way up to the House of Representatives and the state Senate. So she mentioned, I've heard twice now the Republican Party platform mentioned. It is not worth the paper it is written on. It is not. And the reason it's not is because I promise you, I have been grinding this out now for years, and there is very, very few, maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 state representatives, less than that on the senators, that care about the Republican Party platform. There was one priority that came out of the convention last session. One priority. It's found on page 40 of the Republican Party platform. Just one. And it was to amend the Constitution to take the Texas legislature's right away to regulate the wearing of firearms with the view to prevent crime. Open carry of a handgun has been outlawed since 1872. It was designed to keep the free slaves in check. That's what it was. This was all about Reconstruction. And it was designed to keep the defeated army in check. That's what it was about. They didn't care if you concealed them. We have not been able to open carry our handguns in Texas since 1872. How many people believe that that is an infringement on your Second Amendment rights? Raise your hand. I disagree. I disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is why it's so important that you understand the U.S. Constitution and the Texas State Constitution. The U.S. Constitution told the federal government, Congress shall make no laws. Who? Congress. I'm referring to the First Amendment. Congress shall make no laws restricting the freedom of religion, right? The freedom of speech, things of that nature. The Second Amendment was designed to tell the federal government, hands off the states and their firearms. That's why the ATF is unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional. The federal government doesn't have the power to do that. Now, that's why you have every state with its own constitution. For 100 years, it has been legal in Louisiana to open carry a handgun without a license. For 100 years. Why? Because their constitution says so. The Texas Constitution doesn't say that. Your inalienable right granted by God is not being infringed on by the federal government. It is being infringed upon by a constitution that we have said we will accept. We need to change that. We need to quit touting the Second Amendment. We need to start talking about Article 1, Section 23 of the Texas State Constitution. Now, with the one priority being constitutional carry in the Republican Party platform, I can tell you that there was no taste to have this discussion at the Texas State Legislature this session. I knew that going in. I knew it going in. I knew that we probably wouldn't even get a hearing on constitutional carry. I knew we certainly wouldn't get it out of the House of Representatives. I thought we might stand a better chance in the Senate with the change that we saw. But guess what? Not even a hearing on constitutional carry in the House or the Senate. So me knowing the makeup of the House and the Senate, I went to work on open carry with a license. I know that some of y'all aren't going to like that. That's fine. That's great. But we need to bring open carry to Texas so that we can take the next step forward and start dealing with unlicensed open carry. That's the way it's going to have to be. Here's the problem. We passed licensed open carry, if you will. We removed the restriction under current CHL law to conceal your weapon. It passed out of the Senate back in March. It's been sitting in the House since, I believe, March the 21st. We passed it out of the House. It's been sitting. It passed out of the House, their version, and it's been sitting over in the Senate since April the 28th. And guess what? Now it's not moving. How many people know why open carry is being voted on this session? How many people know why it is being voted on? It's not because of the Republican Party. It's not because of the Republican platform. How many people know why, for the first time since 1872, open carry has actually been voted on in either chamber, let alone both? How many people think they know that answer? I know she knows. She's my wife. It wasn't because we asked. It was because we strapped on our long guns and started walking across every city in the state of Texas. Now, there's going to be some of y'all here, and I know this for sure, that saw it in the news and said they're hurting the cause. These people walking around with their AR-15s, going into Chipotle's, going into Walmart, that would be me. Starbucks, that would be me. My Starbucks loves me. A lot of people said you're hurting the cause. I'm going to tell you right now, we told them in the 2013 session that if they did not pass open carry, that we were going to strap on our long guns, which by the way is legal, which by the way you don't have to have unloaded, which by the way you don't need a license for. Okay? We told them we were going to strap on our long guns if they did not pass open carry in 2013, and they did not believe us. Now they believe us.
Yes, they do.
And I have a message for Dan Patrick today. He owns open carry in Texas for 2015. Joe Strauss is not elected by the people. Joe Strauss is elected by cowardly bureaucrats. That is what it is. It is what it is. Dan Patrick's elected by the people, and he has an open carry bill sitting in his Senate that I highly recommend that he bring up and get to the governor's desk, who, by the way, the governor said he would sign whatever open carry bill came to his desk. And so I encourage each of you to go out there when you leave here today and Monday morning, go and call the lieutenant governor's office and demand that he bring up HB 910 in the Senate. Because if he doesn't, we're going to hang it around his neck, and the last 18 months of open carry of long guns ain't nothing like the next 24 months will be. We're not going to take no for an answer again. We are one of 6 states that do not allow open carry of a handgun. One of 6. We are in the same bedroom as California and New York. Are you kidding me? No. That is unreasonable. Unacceptable. I want to challenge you today. There's this idea that we need to play their game. That's the idea out there, that we need to play. And don't get me wrong, I've been to more committee meetings, committee hearings, testifying on more bills than you can shake a stick at this session, and we need to do that. Matter of fact, we don't have enough people showing up to testify at these bills. We don't have enough people showing up for the gun rights rallies at the Capitol. We don't have enough people strapping on long guns and going out there and telling and letting the Texas legislature know we're not going to take no for an answer. Let me encourage you to quit asking nicely. Why did we have the huge turnover in 2010 from the Tea Party? I'm going to say this, and I'm a pastor, because people were pissed off. They were mad. And they decided they weren't going to take it anymore, and people started showing up by the thousands. The problem is they ended up going back home instead of staying out here on the front lines. And you're going to have to quit asking nicely. You're going to have to start demanding. The idea that we have a super majority in the Senate, in the House, and we have a more than enough majority in the Senate, and we can't pass a bill abolishing property rights is unacceptable. And we need to quit playing their game, and we need to start raising our voices above theirs. I don't know who y'all's rep is here. Who's the state rep here? Who's the state rep here? Is he on our list? Thompson? Say, Ed Thompson. He's one of them. If he's one of them, more of y'all need to get rid of him. If he's not doing the will of the people, and let me be real clear about that, he's a Republican, or claims to be. He has a Republican Party platform. There's very specific issues that we expect them to get done. Abolishing property tax is not new. And if he will not file a bill to do that, she said she took it to 90-something representatives. She should have went with me. I could have got one of them to do it. Trust me. And we need to go up there and we need to start sitting in their office, and we need to start camping out. We need to tell them they're going to do the will of the people. They don't get to exercise their will. They forfeit their will when they agree to serve you. That's their job. I don't need them thinking for me. We've told them what we expect. And one of the things that we expect is to be able to lawfully open carry our arms without the risk of going to jail. And it's inexcusable. There's no reason. All these big city police chiefs that says the world's going to end when open carry passes. It's absolutely ludicrous, by the way. We've been open carrying long guns for 18 months without a single incident except those created by those city law enforcement. Right? Not one incident in 18. Thousands of walks. Thousands of people. Fully loaded AR-15s and not a single issue. And you're telling me that I can't walk down the street without having to have this piece of cloth over a gun, which, by the way, everybody already knows I'm carrying. It's ridiculous. It is. I don't know if gun rights is your issue, but I'm going to close with this thought. Everybody always asks me, why is a pastor so passionate about the Second Amendment? A lot of people believe as a pastor I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but I'm here to point them back to the Black Robe Brigade. If you don't know what that is, you need to go find out. Absolutely. Half our problem is pastors are hiding behind their 501c3s and worried about losing their tithe base instead of doing the work of God. I'm not one of those. If gun rights isn't your issue, let me leave you with this thought. Why is gun rights so important to me? Because without it, we lose all other freedoms. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Without it, we will truly be at the mercy of a tyrannical government. The only thing that stays their hand today, the only thing, is they know beyond any shadow of a doubt that we will stand up and we will rise up against a tyrannical government. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you, and God bless Texas.
Chills. Woo! Thank you so much, Pastor Terry, our open carry preacher. All right, we're going to do a little bit more admin. We've got some more items to auction off, and before we do, James, would you come on up and give me a hand for just a moment? You can go and grab a couple of those, and I just want you to whip them. No, I'm kidding. do you pitch? Are you a baseball player? No? All right. Neither am I. I'm sure you could tell. All right. Let's see if you can hit any of the people who are standing way out there as if the two of us have got Ebola or something. Go ahead and whip it. Whoa. There we go.
I can't catch either, so.
All right. Go ahead and hit that second line right back there, that second perimeter. All the way back there, those guys with guns. There you go, buddy. All right. Thank you, James. James, by the way, is Pastor Terry's son. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to take care of a little bit of admin now. You don't want to go anywhere because we have got some fireworks coming up as well. If you didn't just take away some fireworks from what Pastor Terry was saying, you're going to get them when Angela Box gets up here. No doubt about it. First Amendment. So come on up, Pat, and we're going to do a few more auctions and raffles. Oh, James is conscripted again. There you go.
All right, we have convinced James to come back up here again. All right, let's see. First thing going is... Which one? The book? All right. First thing we got raffling off is the United States of Dysfunction, and these are using the red raffle tickets that Miss Sue's been selling this entire time. So, here's the bag. Get me a ticket, please, sir. Shake them up real good and get me a ticket. Thanks, sir. All right, Miguel. Where is Miguel? Here you go, Miguel. You won. Thank you, sir. All righty, next up is Patriots of Treason by David Thomas Roberts. Mr. James, can you do me a favor and give me another one, please, sir?
Just one or two? Just one or two?
You guys, if you don't win this raffle today, you still need to go and buy this book, Patriots of Treason. This is about the feds coming into Texas after the Tea Party in Texas. So you cannot miss that. So if you don't win today, go buy it.
Now, in case you didn't get that, this is about the feds coming into Texas. Now, almost played right out before our very eyes. If you paid attention in the news, I ain't talking about Jade Helm right now, but if you're paying attention to the news, the feds came in and raided the Republic of Texas here about 2 months ago for not a damn reason at all. Came in and confiscated their computers, their cell phones, everything they had. For what? Because they were having a meeting. Nothing going on in the meeting whatsoever. but the scenario played out right here in this book long before it happened. And if you don't think it's going to happen, it can't happen. It's already happening. Hatreds of treason. Get the book if you don't want it today.
Alrighty, and the winner of this raffle is Miss Shirley Gentry. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Here's your book. Yes, ma'am. Alright, next up, Miss Sue, we have a Alvin Tea Party Patriot shirt and an eagle hat. James, can you please get me a ticket, please, sir? Absolutely. If this size does not fit you, and this is not the size that you actually want, we have a full table back there of these shirts. Please just go see Henry, and he will give you the shirt that you want. Who is it, Mr. James? Chappie. This is your prize.
Come on, Chappie.
Awesome.
This is fixed, man.
And now for the big item of the red tickets, we have an apron full of scratch-offs. Are you ready, James? Tell me who it is. All right, get one out of the bottom. That's good. Shake them up. Get one. There you go. All right, and the winner of the scratch-offs is Carl Pittman. Is Carl Pittman here? It looks like Carl Pittman is here. All right, folks, we have got that done.
I'll send it as a favor.
Wow. All right, folks, we are back. We're going to auction off a few more items real fast. First thing that we are going to auction off is a basket of gift cards. Can I get somebody to bring that basket up here for me? Looks like Miss Suzanne's bringing it now. This basket here has $300 worth of gift cards on it. We've got things all the way from Home Depot to Bass Pro Shop, AutoZone, all the way to just regular American Express gift cards. We have 12 gift cards, each worth $25 for the grand total of $300. So now we're going to auction this off. Obviously, it has a base value of $300. We're going to start it with $150 and see where we go from there. So, who can I get $150 here now? Anybody want to go $175? Can I get $175? $175 there. Anybody want to go $2? Anybody want to go $2? I got $175. Anybody want to go $200? $200 there now. $225. $225. Anybody want to go $250? $250. $250 here now. $275. Anybody want to do $275? Anybody want to go $300? Now you've reached the value. $300. Now $325. Anybody want to go $325? $325. We are at a fundraiser, folks. Come on now, y'all can do this. We got $300. Who wants to go $325 for it? All right, I'll bring it down. How about $310? Who wants to go $310 for it? $300 worth of gift cards. It's $10. $310? $310 now. Anybody want to go $320? You want to go $320? $320 here now. $330. Anybody want to go $330? You want to go $330? $330. $330 there now. $340. Anybody want to go $340? $340 there now. $50. You want to go $350? $350? $350? $350? Come on, we can do this. How about $345? We'll split the difference. How about $345? We got $340 there now. $345. $345. Anybody want to go $350? $350 there now. $355. Anybody? Anybody want to go $355? Anybody want to go $355? We got $300 worth of gift cards here to multiple things. We got $350. Anybody want to go $355? $350 going once. $350 going twice. Sold. $350. $350 right over there. Thank you very much. Commissioner Ken Clark, Galveston County. Thank you, sir. All right, James. Next thing we are gonna raffle off 750 rounds of Winchester 22 long rifle ammo donated by Antero Real Estate. Maybe not. Hold on. No, we have more raffle tickets. Never mind. All right, shake them up real good for me, James. We got 750 rounds. You want to do this now? Okay. All right, do you have a winner for me, James? Go from the bottom, absolutely. Let's see what you got. The winner of 750 rounds is S. Schmidt. Is S. Schmidt here? All right, well, we will keep that with you, and we got a phone number. We will get it to him. Okay, folks, next thing we're going to auction off is a Ted Cruz t-shirt along with another 30-ounce Yeti. Can I get somebody to bring those up here? Suzanne? Can I get you to bring the t-shirt and the Yeti? Alright folks, now, we had a Yeti go earlier for $40, and that was without the t-shirt. Again, we can change the size of the t-shirt. So, can I get $40 for the Yeti and the t-shirt this time? I got 40 here now, 45. Anybody want to go 45?
That's a great looking shirt.
45 for a Yeti and a Ted Cruz t-shirt. How about that, folks? Come on now. These things retail for 40. Come on. Who can go 45 for the Yeti cup and for the Ted Cruz t-shirt? I have 40. Anybody want to go 45? Anybody want to go 45? I have 40. How about 45? Anybody? 45 there with Miss Cindy. Fantastic. Who wants to go 50? Anybody want to go 50? Anybody want to go 50? I got 45 here now. 50. Anybody? Suzanne's going to go 50. How about that? How about 55 now, Miss Fussell? Anybody want to go 55? 55 there with Miss Fussell. How about 60? You want to go 60? You want to go 60? I got 55, Miss Fussell. Now 60. 60. Anybody else want to go 60? You guys can jump in anytime you want now. We have 55. Now you want to go 60? Suzanne's going to go 60. How about that? 65, Miss Fussell. You want to go 65 for the Ted Cruz shirt? All right, 65 there, Miss Fussell. Now, anybody want to go 70? How about that? We have 65, Miss Fussell. Now, anybody want to go 70? That's 65, 65. Anybody want to go 70? 75. She's going to jump it up $10. How about that? How about go 80? I mean, it was only $5 more than what she won. How much? Can she borrow their t-shirt? I don't know. You want to share t-shirts? We got 75 now. Anybody want to go 80? We have 75 with Suzanne. Anybody want to go 80? Anybody want to go 80? We have 75 going once. 75 going twice. We have 80 with Miss Fussell now. Anybody want to go 85? We have 80 with Miss Fussell now. You want to go 85? She wants to go 100 now. Whoa, good job. Give her a round of applause. We got 100 for the Yeti and 100 for the Ted Cruz t-shirt. Now, Miss Fussell, it's your turn. It's back in your corner. You want to go 105? All right, we got 100 going once with Miss Suzanne. We have 100 going twice, and we're sold. Thank you very much. Here, we'll take your card too.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to do another raffle here. We are going to raffle off the Remington shotgun, a 12-gauge shotgun with ammo, donated by the Alvin Tea Party and Interior Real Estate. Thank you again. All right, James. Take from the bottom, bud. Turn them up real good. All right, and the winner of the 12-gauge Remington shotgun with ammo is Dan Brightwell. Is Dan Brightwell here? Is he? All right. Congratulations, you won the 12-gauge shotgun with ammo. We will get those to you. Fantastic. All right, folks, we have one more item. We're going to, actually, two more items we're going to auction. All right, folks, last thing we're going to auction off. We have this t-shirt donated by Mr. Paul back there, along with a Texas flag flown over the state capitol. We're going to do them both at the same time. All right, folks, now, we have the flag back there, and we have the t-shirt. Now, I think Miss Suzanne's going to bring the flag up, but are we ready to go? Who wants to give 20 for the flag and the t-shirt? Donated by State Rep Ed Thompson, and the t-shirt donated by Mr. Paul. We got 20. Who's going to go 20? Who wants to go 20 for a flag and a t-shirt? Flag and a t-shirt. State flag flown over the Capitol. And 20 back there. Who wants to go 30? Anybody want to go 30? I got 20 back there. I got 20 back there. Anybody want to go 30? I have 20 back there. Anybody want to go 30? How about 25? Anybody want to go 25? Who wants to go 25? I have 20 back there with Lieutenant Gilcrease. Anybody want to go 25? I got 20 back there with Lieutenant Gilcrease. Anybody want to go 25? 25. I got 20 back. 25 there now. 30. Anybody want to go 30? I got 30. 25 over there now. 30. Anybody want to go 30? I have 25 now. Anybody want to go 30? 25, 25. Anybody? 25 going once. I have 25 going twice. I have 25. You want to go 30? 30 here now. Anybody want to go 35? I have 30 here now. You want to go 35? 35 there now. 40. I have 35 back there now. You want to go 40? 50, 50. Thank you so much, sir. I have 50 here now. Anybody want to go 55? 55. I have 50 here now. 55. Anybody want to go 55? I have 50 here now. I want to go 55. 55 there now. 60. Anybody want to go 60? Anybody want to go 60? I have 55 here now. 60. Anybody want to go 60? 55 here now. 60. Anybody want to go 60? 55 going once.
I'll get you another one.
55 going twice. Sold $55. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, just ask him.
Make me look pretty.
Now I'm going to hand it back over to
How's
Miss
your promotion?
That's good. What's my 2015 race?
Thank you both. All right, we're coming up to our third and final speaker of the day.
I'm proud of you.
Certainly last but not least, but before I get to Angela, we've got a couple of more announcements, and Carl Pittman is here to make an announcement and an invitation. So come on up, Carl.
Well, we had to cancel on vacation.
There you go.
We're going on a golf vacation.
Thank you, everyone. A little bit of a drive out here from Katy. A little warm today. I'm working on my tan. How's it looking? All right. Just want to let y'all all know I will be running for Harris County Sheriff 2016. My kickoff event is May 30th out in the Katy area, so y'all got to come my way. But we've got Sheriff Richard Mack coming in. Ted Nugent's going to be there. We're expecting a pretty big crowd, and so I'm inviting you all to come out. You'll be able to, you can go to my website, carlforsheriff.com, and you can register on the site. It is a fundraiser, but it's cheap. It's $20 a ticket, and we're expecting probably a couple thousand people out. So you're quite welcome to come out. I greatly appreciate it. Sheriff Joe Arpaio was supposed to be there, but he's got some federal court dates in Phoenix, so he can't get away right now. But anyway, this is looking good, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you do, and all the bad raps that the Tea Parties get. I feel perfectly safe and comfortable in the crowd. Okay, so it's a good thing. So don't listen to all the people that say these terrible things because they're liberal and they're all incredibly dumb. Thank you very much.
Patriots, you know what Texas needs more of? Constitutional sheriffs. You know what Harris County has?
Adrian Garcia.
Not going to work.
And you know what leaches out of Harris County into Brazoria, Fort Bend, Galveston County? Crime. So you have an opportunity to help yourself in your county by helping to clean up Harris County. And the way you do that is with a constitutional sheriff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now it's time, because there is just one thing I wanted to kind of segue from what Pastor Terry was talking about. Folks, I wanted to read you this quote, because this is from Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England from 1803.
Don't ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
No, until your stuff
It says, this may be considered as the true palladium of liberty. The right of self-defense is the first law of nature. In most governments, it has been the habit of rulers to confine this right within the narrowest limits possible. Wherever standing armies are kept up, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms is under any color or pretext whatsoever prohibited or infringed, liberty, if not already annihilated, is on the brink of destruction. There is nothing new under the sun, folks. Patriots have been here before. And when they're talking about, when you heard Pastor Terry say that This this right to keep and bear arms upholds and protects all the rest. Angela Box is here to speak about the First Amendment right that she had infringed when she spoke her mind and the price that she has paid under the guise of political correctness. Now, if it can happen to this lovely lady, who is an educator by profession, who loved what she did, which was trying to enlighten the young minds of our Texans.
So you know, I shook up our whole county because I put Republican
what makes you think
political
you
signs
won't?
all over the church property.
If it'll happen to her,
They flipped a
it
wig.
sure as heck is going to happen to you. Just the next time you open your mouth and say something that the government or the dog and pony show that goes on in terms of, political correctness, you'll pay that price too. So please welcome Angela Box here to the 3rd annual Day of Resistance. If anyone is resisting right now, it is Angela. She has become a voice. You're not slowing down, are you?
Nope.
This lovely lady is Angela Box. Give her a warm welcome, Alvin.
Hello.
There you go.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. It is hot as hell, and the love bugs are killing us all. They're not so lovely right now, but thank you all so much for coming out, and Alvin Tea Party for inviting me. My name is Angela Box, and I'm going to tell you my story. Some of you may know it, most of you, maybe a lot of you know it, but some of you might not. Up until December 5th of 2014, I was a 3rd grade teacher. And I worked for HISD, which is a very large district, and I loved my ducklings, and I loved what I did. But my story is not about those kids, although they have suffered because of what's happened to me. My story is about fascism, rampant political correctness. It's about people trying to be silenced, and it's about people standing up and taking a stand and fighting back. On November 10th, and you know how sometimes in life things happen to you and you know exactly where you are when your whole life changed? On November 10th of 2014, I was minding my business. I think I was teaching a social studies lesson. Yes, I did teach social studies, thank you very much. And I got a call from our school secretary saying, someone from Fox 26 wants to talk to you. And my heart sunk because I think I knew what was coming. Because in September of that year, I had been asked to go on a show called Tommy's Garage, which up until that point was pretty much a labor of love for its producer and host, and God bless him for it. I was asked to come on to give my voice, and I was on literally, I think, 5 episodes, and the whole world blew up. So a reporter named Randy Wallace, who's real slimy, and he's had a lot of face work done, ladies, you know what I'm talking about with that. He decided to run a hit piece on me, and he said, well, I'd like to have your side. I'm thinking, my side of what? Like, what are you talking about? So I go over to Tom's house that day, and my principal had said to me, what is going on? I just got a call from media relations from HISD saying someone from Fox is running a story on you. What is going on? And I said, all right, and I loved my principal. She was a great lady. She is a great lady. I don't blame her. You know what? I don't blame anyone for their reactions to anything, because if you had heard what they heard about me, you might think horrible things too. So I said, look, I'm a conservative. I do this on my own time. It's a political talk show. I run people up the flagpole pretty good. She said, well, go home and we'll regroup tomorrow. I get over to Tom's house. This Randy Wallace character, and the irony, a quick aside, the fact that it's Fox, it's so sad. But the Fox affiliate in Houston is certainly not Fox News. It is certainly not a conservative station. It is a hit piece machine. And Randy Wallace is known for running hit pieces on people without context. He already had his story run. He was talking to Tommy, and he said, would you, just breathless indignation, would you want this woman teaching your children? And the things she says about Muslims and Democrats and Obama? And it's like, are you kidding me?
Typical scrub.
Yeah, ridiculous. So the dude already had his story run. Nothing I would have said was going to change anything. So that night the story ran, and out of approximately, Tommy and I went through this, out of approximately about 45 minutes up until that point of when I'd been on the show, they used 45 seconds of what I said. That's really fair and balanced, isn't it? They took things so out of context, they twisted things so mightily, that by the time I got to school the next day, there's that love bug again, Lord, go away. By the time I got to school the next day, it had started to rumble. It started to rumble, and I felt so bad for my children because they were in the midst of this insanity. Now, it kept going, as we know, because on November 10th, I did a few talk shows. I did an interview with ABC 13. It all started to get moving. So here's where it gets really interesting. I believe on that Thursday, I see a video from CARE, the Hezbollah and Hamas front group, CARE, whose ties have been pretty well established that they are associated with radical terrorist organizations. They have been deemed a terrorist organization by the UAE. Federal government said they were connected to the Holy Land Foundation trial, unindicted co-conspirators that they are. So Ibrahim Hooper, I was like, whoa, I hit the big time now. Ibrahim Hooper decided to run a spliced together video of all the things I said that he was just so offended by. He was so offended that I said these things about Muslims. You know, like the fact that in Muslim countries women have no rights. Right. Women get stoned to death. Mm-hmm. Their bodies are mutilated. They can't drive. You have to have 4 witnesses to prove a rape. Yep. You know, like those things. So he didn't like those things that I said about his religion. I'll get to more of that later. So Monday morning I get a text message. Y'all know producer Kenny from Michael Berry, right? And Walton Johnson. I get a text message from him at 4 in the morning. He goes, girl, check your email. So I go and check my email, and I was greeted with a press release that the lovely Ralph Evans, everyone give a shout out to Ralph. Say hi, Ralph. He's otherwise known as Q10, Quanell X. Went by Ralph in his drug dealing days. Don't get me started. So I get this press release with a letterhead from the new Black Panther Party and the new Black Muslim movement. And the press release said, well, we're going to have a protest at her school today because she's a racist and a bigot and she needs to go. And here's what she said about Obama, and I quote. Now, I'm not going to give the whole quote because it's a family audience. And it is disgusting and reprehensible what this man put into my mouth. He quoted me as saying this, quote, she called President Obama, quote, an effing N-word, and all black people are dumbass for voting for him, end quote. Those words never came out of my mouth. Now, do I have a problem with the black community voting in lockstep 93% of the time for Democrats? You bet I do. The Democrat Party has ruined the black family. It is on its way to ruining the Hispanic family, too. But those words never came out of my mouth. I don't use the N-word. Anyone in a civil society, I don't think should. But he decided to put those words into my mouth. It went out on urban radio. It went out, that press release went out to the entire media in Houston. So when I saw that, I called my principal and I emailed my principal and vice principal. I said, I'm not coming in. Because when you see the new Black Panther Party on a letterhead and the new Black Muslim movement, what on earth is this little white woman thinking? All hell in my mind was about to break loose. So I stayed home that day. And I said, I remember precisely, I said, wow, this is getting really serious. This is real now. So when I went back to school on Monday, it was bad, but it got really bad. Colleagues refused to talk to me. I worked in a majority black school with a majority minority population of children and parents. But the staff was pretty much all black, ladies, a couple of gentlemen. We all got along like peas and carrots before this. They slammed doors in my face. They refused to speak to me. I had a monitor put in my classroom for no good reason. I had never done anything in the classroom that anyone could point to that would have brought in my politics into the classroom, ever. My entire teaching career, I've worked in majority minority schools. My entire career. When I lived in Los Angeles, I subbed in Watson South Central, and my friends, that is no joke. So, what this man did, in essence, was tarnish my name, along with Randy Wallace and Fox 26. And the martyrs over at CARE, they're just so sad. By the way, I invited CARE to come out today. They had another obligation. Imagine that. So I told them straight up, I'm like, hey Ruth, hey Mustafa, anytime, any place, let's have this debate on your religion and what it does to women and to people around the world. Oh, this is a good thing, and I'll get back to the timeline in a minute. But a few weeks ago, I don't know, maybe if y'all saw it, but Cara Houston decided to put out. I have a friend on Facebook who's in the enemy camp, and he gets Cara Houston's email blasts. And a few weeks ago, Cara decides they're going to have a fundraiser using my name, my picture, and it was like the worst picture ever, ladies. You know what I'm saying? It was tragically bad. But they decided to use my story, my name, to raise some money for CARE. And I said, when I got wind of it, I said, hey man, let's go. I'd like to be able to chance to speak at your little dinner since you're using my name to raise money. I'd like 10% of that cut. I'll leave it to an Israeli organization. That would have gone over well. But back to the timeline. My school became a battleground very rapidly. I had 7 children pulled from my classroom. Children I loved. The ones that stayed, though, let me tell you about bravery. These little ducklings were so amazing. Without me prompting them, and they saw what was going on in the news, and they heard people calling me racist under their breath. Children! They saw how no one on the staff was speaking to me anymore. I was completely frozen out. They saw that there was a monitor in my classroom. It was a cluster. I just said cluster. The little kids would take Post-it notes and write, "We stand with Miss Box." And they put them on their little shirts, and they would march off to specials or to lunch or wherever they were when they were in the hallway to defend their teacher. And they were the bravest children I've ever met. There were a few parents that supported me too, but for the most part, and this is the sad thing, people are scared. They're scared to stand up for someone when they know in the face of absolute lies and ridiculousness, they're scared to stand up for someone and defend them. Because they see what's on the news and they say, well, my goodness, she's a racist. She's an Islamophobe. So, fast forward a few weeks later, I found representation, and let me just say this, unless you have $10,000 to put down as a retainer, it's a high mountain to climb to find an attorney that wants to do your case on contingency. And unfortunately, that's the lesson I've learned. But I did get attorneys to help out. We filed a defamation of character lawsuit against QuanLX. I really wanted Fox 26. Oh, I wanted them so bad. But they said it's really, really tough to get the media. But okay, we'll go after Q. Let's get Q10. That's fine. So QuanL said, and when this all came out, and he was confronted with the press release that he put out, and by the way, it said contact QuanLX on the bottom of the press release. He was confronted by KHOU 11, the only station to actually post the press release. The media was shocked. They're like, wait. You're saying that he said that you said that? I said, oh yeah. And that's why I'm fired. Are you kidding? No, I'm just here for my health. Really? Come on. So when he was confronted with that, he said on at least 2 occasions on the air in print, number one, oh, that was a publicist error. Oh, please. A publicist error? Huh. So, was your publicist named Ralph Evans, I wonder? I think so. And then he said that I lost my job, and I had to eventually resign because it was just, at the end of the day, the story was about me and it should have been on those kids. And staying there was not doing anyone any good. The school, the staff, especially the children. And that was my primary motivation. I could have stuck it out and been through hell for the next 5, 6, 7 months. But for what? So they could not offer me a contract next year for some ridiculous reason? No. Those kids deserve to move on. So that's why ultimately I decided to resign. But make no mistake about it, it was essentially a forced resignation. So, when I resigned, they went to Ralph for a comment, and Ralph said she didn't lose her job because of a press release. She lost her job because I don't like what she said about Islam. Now I want that to sink in. What I said about Islam was predicated on some very serious events going on in the world. When I came in one night to Tommy's garage, and it had come out that either that day or that day before, that 2 New York City police officers had been hatcheted by a radical Muslim convert on the streets of New York City. And then shortly after that, in my home state of Oklahoma, a woman in Moore, Oklahoma, going about her business, had her head chopped off in the workplace by a radical Muslim convert. And you want to complain about me saying bacon hater? Or some other off-color remarks? Or this is for the muzzies? Let me tell you something. There's something in this world called common sense. And if I were a Muslim, I'd be standing with me and saying, we have got to stop these radical nut jobs from ruining our religion. Now, there's a lot of debate on what is real Islam, what is not. I'm not a Muslim. I've read a lot about it, and I'm going to, again, get to that later. But I want to wrap the timeline up because I got some real good red meat in a minute. So, Quanell decided to say it wasn't a press release, it was a publicist error. It was what I didn't like what she said about Islam that got me fired, essentially. And in Islam, there is a thing called taqiyya. In taqiyya, there are 4 reasons you are allowed to lie about another person. And us being infidels, I'm assuming we're all proud infidels here. Let's give a shout out to the infidels. Say infidel! Infidel! Infidels. Proud infidel. A Jesus Christ infidel. Hoorah. There are 4 reasons to lie. One of those reasons is if you are defending Islam against someone who is running down Islam. Running down Islam. So he knew, first of all, his motivation was he didn't like what I said about his religion. But he also knew that the place I worked, the students I serviced, were predominantly black. He knew that putting those words into my mouth was going to start a storm of high proportions, and he was right. And then when he tries to backtrack it saying it's a publicist error, no, Ralph, no. You don't get to do that. Now, Ralph's defense, when we went to court the other day, he wasn't there. I was so sad. I really wanted to see Ralphie in person. Oh, I will one day, mark my words. The other day when we went to court, his attorneys, their defense was, well, she's a public figure. Well, and 5 days out, I certainly was not a public figure. I was a teacher. I was a teacher who, on my own time, decided to go on a political show and kick some liberal butt. And kick some radical Muslim butt. On my own time. So that doesn't wash. And even if I was a public figure, you do not get to libel and slander someone, putting words into someone's mouth that they never said. That is actionable. That is actionable. Now, I want to take a segue because I know everyone's hot, but as conservatives, and I'm a proud conservative, a constitutional conservative. I lean a little libertarian, but I'm primarily constitutional conservative. We are accused of hating everything, right? Yep. We're accused of hating women, and Muslims, and Hispanics, and black people, and gay people, and windmills and vegetables and everything. We're just full of hate. So what I decided to do was compile a little list of the things that the left likes to say we hate and talk about what's really hateful. Pardon me. Sorry. Hang on, I'm good. All right, I'm good, thanks, Heidi. So, we're going to talk about the wars that the left likes to say we're in. Let's talk about the war on women. Oh, the war on women. And the left spells it W-O-M-Y-N because they're just uber feminist. So, I guess according to a left-wing lunatic, Hillary's people, holla, protesting against the ripping of an unborn child, limb from limb, in the womb, is considered hateful. Not the said act of ripping an unborn child, limb from the womb. According to the left, not allowing lovely feminists like Sandra Fluck $3,000 a year for her birth control, paid for by taxpayers, well, that's hateful. And we have groups of women that are going to rally on this mythical war on women, but again, are silent on what's going on to women in the Middle East. The raping, the stoning, the genital mutilation, the 4 people charged to make a rape charge, and they're treated like trash. The forced veiling. Now let me say this, and I've made this clarification about 3,000 times, and I guess I'll keep doing it until the end of my life. I'm not talking about all the Muslims. I'm talking about the lunatics. I'm talking about the lunatics that want to force women to do certain things. If a woman chooses to wear a veil, knock yourself out. You want to pray 5 times a day? Great. I'm talking about the forced veiling of women. I'm talking about what happens in other countries in the name of Islam. Another one that's really good, and I like to say to the girls, fiddle away, little girls. Just fiddle, 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 while Rome burns, while women across the world are being stoned and killed and all of it. Just keep fiddling. Now, the war on gays is really interesting, and as conservatives, we're going to have different opinions on this. I personally think people are born the way they are. It is what it is. I personally believe gay marriage is between a man and a woman. I get the argument on the other side, but here's the difference between conservatives and liberals. Conservatives can go, okay, I agree that marriage is between a man and a woman. You disagree with me, that's cool. But liberals, what they do is they try and ruin people's lives over things that they don't agree with you on. Take Prop 8 in California a few years ago. There were people in prominent positions because they gave money to a Yes on Prop 8 campaign whose lives and whose livelihoods were destroyed because they had the audacity to say, well, gosh, 5,000 years of history. 5,000 years versus, 3 years. So their lives are ruined over it. People are going to disagree on this. That's cool with me. But again, and another thing, this bathroom thing. I mean, give me a break. Shouldn't women allowed to be able to go to the bathroom without having to worry about if a man walks in just because they want to dress as a woman that day? Really? I mean, for goodness sake. So the first sexual assault that happens, we're going to go right to the left and go, okay, your handiwork, congratulations, own it. Now this, the recent Religious Freedom Act really got my goat. Because again, it's not conservatives who try and ruin people's lives over things they disagree with. That really got me crazy. And again, I don't see a lot of gay people, a lot of the militant homosexual lobby, the gay mafia, I like to call them. And boy, if you don't believe in the gay mafia, whoo, you're going to get checked. I don't see the gay mafia going around and talking about how gays are being thrown off buildings in the Middle East or being executed because they're gay. I don't hear them. Do you? I don't. I could go through a few more things, but I know everyone is warm. Okay, this is a good one. I've got two more wars. The war on black people that liberals like to say conservatives engage in. The real war on the black family has been perpetuated by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party owns all the major cities, including Baltimore, Maryland. The Democrat Party owns the welfare state. The Democrat Party owns failing schools. The Democrat Party owns the food stamp program. The Democrat Party, ramped up by LBJ, sorry, it's going to be controversial, but I believe it's true, basically re-enslaved entire generations of black Americans by telling them they could and they should have babies out of wedlock that they couldn't support, and someone else would take care of them. And oh, by the way, you don't need a man to do that. You don't need a father. The Democrat Party got millions of people of all races addicted to government handouts and programs. To me, that is hate. That's hate. It's hateful for a political party in the quest of never-ending power to sap someone's initiative and self-worth. It's also condescension on the highest level to suggest that minorities are too stupid to go get a photo ID to vote, even though everyone needs a photo ID to do basically anything, including illegal aliens. That's the message the Democrat Party sends to black Americans. Just keep voting for us. We'll keep you down. Talk about keeping people down. It's the Democrat Party. Now let's get to illegal aliens, and then I'm going to get to the meat. I'm going to talk about Islam. Illegal aliens account for many murders, drunk driving, arrests, all sorts of nonsense, and they're not deported. Nothing happens to them. I wonder why the Democrats want to amnesty all these people and the idiot rhinos that go along with it. These idiot Republicans, they just want to kick them. Yes. So what are you thinking? These are the poorest of the poor swarming over our border, and you think, oh, thank you for the remembrance quilt, Maria Espinoza. Thank you. Come on up here with that. So this is the remembrance quilt. Maria Espinoza's Fantastic Patriot. She has it's called the Remembrance Project. She is tasked with finding every single person that is either killed, maimed, raped, or victim of a crime from an illegal alien that should have been deported or never here in the first place. So I want to give it up for Maria Espinoza. Thank you, Maria, for that. It's a hard thing to do, going against power. This is what's hateful. Politicians in both parties sticking it to you and me. Just sticking it to us every day. American citizens don't get to walk away from a DUI, a car arrest, a car accident, or a traffic ticket unscathed. But a lot of illegal aliens do. Americans don't get to hop the border to Mexico and deem that not only should Mexicans speak English for them, but provide them with schools, healthcare, housing, food, clothing, shelter, and myriad other social services. But guess what? Illegal aliens do. Americans don't get to skip out of court cases with no repercussions. Many illegal aliens do. Americans don't get to use someone else's social security number in order to obtain employment without criminal penalties. But a lot of illegal aliens do. Americans don't get to commit multiple misdemeanors and felonies without major consequences, but many illegal aliens do. We are fed up with this crap. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The polls show 70% of the American people, regardless of political party, are so sick of this, their heads want to explode. We need people that are going to fight for the American people and American jobs. That goes for legal immigrants and American citizens. All right, the war on Islam. Oh, this is my favorite. So, as a conservative and a pundit, if you will, I like to spout my mouth and run my mouth, and it's fun. But there are repercussions to it because lovely people like Care and Quanell, Ralphie come after you. This is the rallying cry for all radicals of the 21st century. The left does not care how many infidels are beheaded, stoned, burned alive, or subjected to gruesome Sharia law. I don't care how many Christians are targeted or slaughtered for their faith. This is the left. They don't care how many times the mullahs in Iran and Islamists around the world call for death to America and death to Israel. They don't care. They don't care how many little girls are married off at the age of 6 years old or have their bodies mutilated. They don't care how many bombings and terrorist attacks are carried out in the name of Islam. I don't care how many instances of workplace violence. They don't care how many instances of workplace violence occur on American Army bases. They don't seem to care that a lot of women are forced to wear a veil or a burqa. They don't care that women have to have 4 witnesses to prove a rape. You see, those things aren't hateful according to the left. What's hateful is actually bringing those things up. These are uncomfortable topics. It's hateful to the left to point out that after 9/11, the Muslim world exploded in celebration. It's hateful to bring up that after Obama's absolutely abysmal anti-American and anti-Israel nuclear weapons deal with Iran, the Iranian people danced in the streets. It's hateful, according to the left, that it's estimated that 15 to 25% of all Muslims are radicalized or support the end goals of radicals. It's hateful to explain that Europe, due to its lax immigration and hyper-liberalism, demographically is finished. It's hateful to address that Islamic organizations like the terrorist front group CARE are using our political correctness to slowly but surely break down American culture. And as always, I'll make this clarification. Not all Muslims are terrorists. But the funny thing is, most terrorists seem to be Muslims. If I was a Muslim, I'd have to say I'd be very uncomfortable with many of the dictates the Quran insists upon. I might, if I was a Muslim, start to wonder why my holy book has so many passages that call for barbaric violence against people who do not succumb to Islam. I might start to wonder why members of my faith want to instill Sharia law and an Islamic caliphate around the world. I might start to wonder why my religion says lying to an infidel or about an infidel and perpetration of Islam is noble and just. I might start to wonder why it's members of my religion who are responsible for 99% of all terrorism in the world. I might start to wonder why Muslims at a soccer match in the Netherlands started chanting, quote, "My father was in the commandos, my mother was in the SS. Together they burn Jews, 'cause Jews burn the best." And, quote, "Hamas, Hamas, Jews to the gas." I might start to wonder why Islamic regimes refuse to acknowledge Israel and call for its destruction. I might start to wonder all of that, but that's just me. So I have a little litmus test for our liberal friends here. And this is a litmus test. You can ask any elected official or someone that wants to run, what do you support? Because here's in my mind what the left supports. I'm going to go through a quick little list here. Let's see, thugs. These are the people they champion. They just love them. Thugs. Illegal aliens. Islam. Iran. Cuba. Gitmo prisoners. Bo Bergdahl. And any other number of degenerate lowlifes that the left loves to champion. So ask them that if they support that, or if they support Christians, the police, and let's give a shout out to the police. Thank you guys for what you do. You are among friends. Screw the other people. They're idiots. Police, the military, any military people here, thank you for your service. Israel, the rule of law, a secure and stable border, legal and controlled immigration. So there's your litmus test for your new candidates. Finally, I'd like to say, as conservatives, we have many things we believe in, but I think they can be nutshelled down to a few things. We believe that the Constitution is the most perfect governmental document ever created. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in religious freedom. We believe in freedom of association. We believe in freedom of speech. You may not like what I say, but by God, I have the right to say it. We believe in people being free and living unfettered lives. And I want to thank again the Alvin Tea Party for having me out. I know I talked a long time. I'm very thirsty now. But I think this message is important to say. I'm not giving up this fight. You shouldn't give up this fight. And we all need to stand together. And a real quick last thing, I promise. I'm working with a gentleman out of Oklahoma City. We're working on a special election with a lady in Oklahoma City right now. So I have to go back to Oklahoma City tomorrow for God knows how long. Believe me, I'm going to miss Houston so much. If you know any candidates that are true conservatives, or you're a true conservative and you're thinking about taking someone on in the state house, like Terry mentioned, state house, state senate, I don't care, the small school board, I don't care. Talk to me. We want to help you. So thank you again for having me out. Keep up the fight. Fight for liberty. This is for all of us. God bless you. God bless America. What? Wait, what? You found this? Oh, someone pilfered my shirt that Pedro gave me.
This one?
No, it was black and it was really cool. It says Raging Elephants Radio. It's in pink. So if anyone has it, please give it back. Thank you.
I'll trade you the microphone for a bottle of water.
Okay. Are you agreeing with the Quran
Now you
verse
know why they want
929?
her to shut up,
Okay.
right? What they didn't count on was that before, no one knew who she was. She was doing her job. She was teaching children,
What you need to do
trying to enlighten
is read it.
the minds of the
Now,
youth.
this is the
Nobody really knew who she was. Nobody even really saw the television episodes that she was raked over the coals for. But guess what? In true Texan fashion, because she is a born-again Texan, by the way. In true Texan fashion, she has taken the lemons, the destruction that they tried to foist on her, and she has turned it into a mega bullhorn for the cause of liberty. Now, the t-shirt that I have, which she failed to mention. I'm selling her. Is that I stand with Box t-shirt. And she's selling these because she is still defending her right to say what she means and mean what she says.
Cool.
So I would like to invite you over there to, where is it? Right over there where George is. He's got him right there. You can buy a t-shirt and support her cause because they tried to take her down and she is definitely not out. Her audience now is far greater than it ever would have been if she had stayed in the classroom. So please make yourself, head on over there, support her cause, and while you're over there next to the Raging Elephants Radio, sign up. Put your email on that list right there. We're streaming live over internet video right now. You can find this later if you'd like to share what she had to say or any of our previous speakers. You can share it from YouTube, and all that means is you take the link and click on the Facebook or the Twitter button, and it'll shoot out, and you can find that at YouTube, and our channel is RERvideo. Now, in closing, I'd like to remind you of our sponsors. We have AIM Controls sponsoring the event today, as well as Suzanne Dillman, who's going to come up and close for us in a moment, back there in the pink t-shirt. And Stanton's, and just a word, I'm going to head over to Stanton's when we're done here, but they have a true meat market in there. If you would be so kind as to show your appreciation for their hosting this today in their parking lot, please head over to Stanton's and buy some brisket or some links or what have you, and give them a little bit of business just by way of saying thank you. I know that the Alvin Tea Party Patriots deserve our gratitude for being faithful with the spirit of resistance and putting on this event today. And, well, before we close, I've got, guess what I have? One more quote. And this is about you guys. This isn't about an issue, this is about you. And you will never guess who actually said these words. Today we need a nation of Minutemen, citizens who are not only prepared to take arms, but citizens who regard the preservation of freedom as the basic purpose of their daily life, and who are willing to consciously work and sacrifice for that freedom. Sacrifice is what you heard from two of our speakers today. His freedom was infringed because he dared to carry a black powder pistol entirely legal. They tried to rob him of his liberty by putting him in jail. Angela has paid a price in her livelihood. She talked about them destroying livelihoods. They have tried to do that with her as well. They've paid a price. They've paid a cost, but we have been admonished to make the preservation of freedom the basic purpose of our daily life and consciously work and sacrifice for that freedom. And folks, patriots of Texas, I know that's why you're here today. Thank you so much for standing out here in this glorious Texas sun. We're going to close it up here with Suzanne Dillman. Thank you so much for coming out, and may God bless Texas.
Amen. I want to thank Heidi for coming over here and emceeing for us today, and all of our wonderful speakers. Y'all remember, this is our only fundraiser we do for the Tea Party, and we appreciate all the support we get. We still have pulled pork sandwiches here in back, and we've got T-shirts for sale. We've got several vendors here with T-shirts. This is the only way we can get the cause. We are taking donations. There is a lovely lady with a pretty teapot in her hand that will come by and be happy to take donations from you. But we want to thank you for coming out and attending. We appreciate the support, and it'll continue. If you don't like us on Facebook, please do so. That's the way we respond and get information out to everybody. But thank you, Terry. Thank you, Angela. Cheryl's gone, but thank you, and we appreciate it. Y'all, God bless, and have a great day.
Thank you. Signing off.
Hey, Sue, how you